And welcome back to another edition of Running with James. I am, of course, James Wyatt. You're welcome for being here with us.
Stop scaring
Rocky,
people away.
Lauren.
Stop it.
What?
We already talked about what happened last week. You gave out that long,
I was just playing. Everybody knew I was playing. You knew I was playing, right? You didn't know I was playing?
I was listening to it, and I was kind of like, wow. Has he got something to prove, or But it was good. You got a lot.
He knew I was playing. You knew I was dead. You thought I was dead serious, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, today, to apologize for my inappropriate behavior.
Public apology.
I feel like if you listened to the whole episode last week, I feel like we let Lauren know how much we appreciated her.
did. I got a
Right?
little
We do
teary-eyed.
appreciate Lauren. We appreciate Rocky. Y'all do so much. I mean, Rocky, we couldn't do this without you. You're a producer.
Literally.
You're like a producer of producers, right?
We literally
and
could
we
not do it
appreciate
without
you.
you. 'Cause
Lauren,
there's too many buttons.
what can I say about Lauren that I
Let's
haven't
not.
said in so many different ways, right? You remember, I think it was last week or the week before, I was like, there was one day I saw you and you just aggravated me, everything you did.
You were basically like, some days you just see somebody and just the look of them wants to I don't know if you said punch me.
No, my brother, I said I punched my brother in the face. I would never do that
Yeah,
to
but
you.
you said something kind of
Like
equivalent,
you just pissed
but
me
not
off.
as violent.
Like just
yeah,
angry.
I just irritate
Today,
you.
you walked into our meeting and I kind of had that feeling. Like everything you were doing was just kind of like
It was like a
rubbing
minute
me the
late.
wrong
this
way.
One was like 15 minutes late.
So listening to y'all's banter a lot, sometimes it feels like he's like, what can I say about Lauren? And it's like, it would be better if you just didn't. It'd be nice.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Before you did
What
that.
can I say about Lauren? Nothing. Let's
Don't-
start off high.
Let's try to be. But I wanted to say this to start out instead of ending it in case people don't make it past this one part, right? That I appreciate you, Rocky. I got you something.
What? Me?
Oh, man.
I know you like to wear ball caps. Look at that. I got that for you. Check that out.
Snap.
Yep. So
What does it say?
Yahweh.
Yahweh. It's he's gonna get to wear that
Yahweh.
at church. It's tight. It's nice.
I don't-
Thank you very much. It's good. It's the name of God. So
Yeah,
it's
that's awesome.
So she said, I don't think she.
I know. I had no
Okay.
idea.
Okay.
It's cool
So-
looking hat though. It's a little small.
You know, it's adjustable.
Yeah.
It's adjustable, bro.
You know, I thought it'd be the perfect match,
Yeah,
like a
no,
Cinderella.
it's adjustable. You got like a lot of hair and a lot of head.
I don't think
tried
I've
it on
ever
to
seen
see-
you with a cap off.
That would be really
like that's,
funny.
He's
And
got
That's
good hair,
legit, man.
He's
You've
got
got
good
the-
hair.
Wow.
That
He's
would
got
be
some
really
good
funny
hair.
if
Yeah.
he said, "Here's a hat. If it fits you, it's yours to keep. If it doesn't fit you, nah."
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to you. So that's for you, my friend.
Aw.
I appreciate
that.
you. I know you like hats, right?
do.
And you wear them all the time.
You wear them
and
constantly,
you
so
look
we
good
never
wearing
know
them.
he has that good
So,
head
and
of
that hat
hair.
looks good on
Right.
you.
I appreciate
It looks,
that.
that flows,
That's a
man.
nice
That's gonna be
hat.
good. So got that for you. Lauren, I got you something as well.
Did you really?
Dang, this dude turned into Oprah on us.
All right, so here's the
I know,
deal,
Is
Lauren.
it a full like long dress?
No.
Okay.
I'm not gonna buy you clothing.
It's like check under your chair.
So we're always talking about performance, improving. You're trying to get elite status, right?
Uh-huh.
You don't listen to me on pretty much anything I ask you to do. So this is my way of helping you in your nutrition. I reached out to these people, and then I asked you if you were interested.
I love them.
I got you some protein, okay?
Ayo.
Earth Chimp. It's organic, vegan protein.
vegan.
Now I'm supposed to be doing a video on this, okay? And I'm supposed to do it by August 10th,
I
okay?
love Earth
So
Chimp.
we're gonna have to make some recipes with this. So this is a team gift that you're probably gonna be using more than anybody
I love
else,
Earth Chimp.
right? So it's Earth Chimp. It's only 2 grams of fat. It's got 20 grams of protein per serving, right?
Yeah.
Now this does not thrill me at all because of
It's vegan, but I love
this
it.
word right here.
But it's pea protein.
This is a 4-letter word with 5 letters as far as I'm concerned.
Word
Because
with
it never
5
tastes
letters.
good. But they assured me that this was going to be great.
No,
so
it's
I'm going to give it a
great.
shot. And I'm looking at the ingredients. And like it's got 1 billion probiotics per serving. It's got organic fruits. I mean, it's all organic.
1 billion probiotics for sure.
Right?
That's
It's got
that's
like
a lot.
no soy,
Yeah.
so my testosterone can stay high. You know how I like my testosterones.
We know
right?
you like to be macho.
I like to be beefcake. So, I mean, there's not, other than the taste, I can't see anything but good stuff here.
No,
so
the taste is good.
So we're going to try it out.
So do you?
But
so
I got
do you
this
bake?
for you.
Thank
You're
You
welcome.
bake with this?
I love Earth Chimp. I've been using them for a while. I bake with it. I add it in my coffee, actually.
Oh.
I literally just ran out
Okay.
of my Earth Chimp, so this is very exciting.
So I've
put it in
I've done
everything.
pea protein before, and they're like, "Oh, you don't taste the pea." No, I totally taste
Yeah.
the
This
pea.
one's good. I've tasted a lot. I've
So we'll
tried
see.
a lot.
Okay.
We'll see. But no matter what, that's for you.
Thank you.
I would have
Never
never,
try
I would have
my pea.
never done it. I would have said no, thank you.
So I can get muscles
But
now.
now that's for you.
I can
That's
look- I
see,
can look
I'm
like-
I'm a good gift giver because I think
are.
about like people and their needs
Will
and their
this
wants
make
and
me
their desires.
So now I'll look like Megan Jacoby.
Or you could just look
Yes.
like
So
Lauren.
This is all it's gonna take.
Yes.
You could just look like
Or I
Lauren,
just look like me.
right? You could not compare yourself to other women.
I
You
won't.
could just look like Lauren, a
There you
strong
go.
Lauren. And actually, the other day, a photo popped up on my memory. You know how Google does.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Facebook,
They like to remind
whatever.
you of things.
And it was we did like a little mini photo shoot like for the OCR class, and you were out there flipping a tire. And it was
yeah.
like from like 4 years ago, I think, what
was
have you.
very
And
different looking.
you were so much skinnier.
I was a lot skinnier.
And like your arms were so thin.
My arms were
But
very
now
thin.
your arms are like, you got shoulders.
I got bulbous
You got
shoulders.
biceps over
I got
here.
tiny bulbous
I
shoulders,
mean,
but they're getting there.
and like I was sitting there watching you, just like right there, and you just like moving your arm, and you're like got guns.
Yeah, when you open
Right?
the door for me, I was like, dang, Lauren's looking jacked.
That's what I'm saying.
Someone
So
did say that to me the other day. I asked someone who's coming new to one of my classes, and they're like, "All right, so how many days a week do I come to have your arms?" I was
See?
like,
All
"Well,
of them.
we're gonna have
All
a real
of them.
big chat."
So don't worry
all
about those
the
other.
days.
Don't worry about those other people. You just keep being you,
Aw,
and
thank
you
you,
just keep
James.
growing,
I'm
right?
excited about this.
So today we're joined. We have a special guest.
If you haven't heard him on the airwaves already,
well, yeah, I'm sure. They did.
if you haven't noticed, there's another
Yeah.
voice.
So unlike some of our other guests, he has not been shy to add in
No,
some
nice.
commentary. So we appreciate that. Thank
Yes.
you. It's
Not
a good
at all,
start.
man. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
And
So-
you know, I didn't get a gift, but I do take the fact that y'all had me on the show. As y'all know, like I've been asking Lauren, I was like, I so
Yes.
want to come like chop it up with you guys.
I mean,
that is
And
the gift,
so
bro.
It is. I'll
and it's a
take
gift
it.
that'll keep on giving.
I will take it.
You're actually
I
our
told-
first guest on this set.
Like on this set.
Yo,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we just let me have it?
This
like,
the other one was a Zoom call, and I
Yeah,
wasn't
the
even there.
other
for
one
it.
No, because we had Diana. Not on this
But
set.
we,
Not
but
on
since
this
we,
set.
since we
Okay,
upgraded,
okay.
we
Yes.
upgraded.
You're the first in-house guest on
I'll
this
take
set.
it.
Yes,
I'll take
this is
it.
true. This is true.
Don't ruin the gift.
I apologize. I'm trying to take his gift away from him.
Actually, I
are.
was telling them yesterday.
Indian giver.
I was like, so I reached out to Neil about being on the podcast. I was like, I don't think I've had someone respond yes with so much enthusiasm so quickly. So I think he's pretty amped about it. So that's always really nice when the guest is equally as amped to be on the show.
For sure.
Well, and it's always fun because, you know, and I'll give a little bit of background. Like, I started in OCR back in 2018, and I could have started in 2010 when I first discovered Tough Mudder. However, I didn't want to go by myself, and so I didn't go. 2018 rolls around. I had just overcome some autoimmune illness stuff and all of that. And this guy was like, hey, you should come run the Spartan with me. You're training. What are you training for? Come run the Spartan. I was like, cool, I'll do it. It was my birthday gift to my wife because it was the last minute sign up, which we know is like an arm and a leg, right? And so I sign up, and the guy texts me the night before and is like, hey, so sorry, I'm not going to make it. I have to work a shift tomorrow.
The night before.
Hope you have fun,
Sounds
right?
like somebody I know.
And so I was like, come on. So I show up, and literally, like, this group is waiting at the start line. They see I'm kind of like looking around, like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. Sorry about that, guys. I thought I put that on silent. And they're like, hey, who are you running with? I was like, I don't have anybody. They're like, come run with us. Sweet. And over the course of 2.5 hours, we completed
Wait, which one was it?
the sprint.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was in Houston?
That was in Houston. That was
Okay.
like the muddiest sprint
Yeah,
I've
I remember
ever
that one.
run.
It was like the last one they had in Houston until this past year. Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that.
And so from that point on, like, I just have dove deeper and deeper and deeper into this world. And as I've dove deeper, I've met so many people who have, you know, said, hey, like, let me help you make this connection. Hey, let me bring you into this event. Hey, let me have you do this, right? And so I have developed this knack and this desire. I want to see more people in it.
Yeah.
And so I realized that the way to do that is to get more platforms or be on more platforms to broadcast the story. So obviously when Lauren was like, hey, you want to do this? I'm like, an opportunity to inspire more people? Yes, please. I'll take it.
Nice.
So
Lauren, why don't you introduce him?
Yeah. So
give us some
for-
background.
So for those of you who haven't already recognized the voice you were hearing, we are joined today by a good friend and fellow athlete, Neil Krebs. Neil, you referred to yourself when I emailed you about as like average guy gone OCR athlete, hybrid training athlete. So you, like you said, you were welcomed in by strangers into this community, and you ended up just kind of seems like you fell in love with it like pretty quickly.
yeah.
And so from that story, you've just kind of made it your mission to share that same love and share that sense of community and welcoming people
Absolutely.
in. So you've kind of like become known in the community with HYROX, OCR, and all these different events as like the hype man of the people.
I like
It doesn't
that.
matter if it's like a stranger, if it doesn't matter if it's someone you've known for a long time, you were like right there cheering them on and like really just encouraging everybody.
Yeah.
And you put a lot of yourself into these events, but you really pull the best out of a lot of people when they feel
You're gonna
really
make me cry.
fatigued.
It's actually facts. So I didn't know you, like your name, but I knew your face. I
Yeah.
saw you at the last Spartan when I volunteered there, and you were just like your aura. You were like you were all.
You know when Neil's in a
Yeah,
space.
you
know
know
when
'cause
Neil's
I
in a
appreciate
space.
that.
You were cheering on everybody. You knew everybody, and
Yeah.
you were just like people were just like you were just everywhere. I felt
Yeah.
like, man, who is this guy? How does everybody know this guy? I've never met him.
Yeah.
I guess now I actually have.
And now you've got a name to the
Yeah,
face.
now I got a name to the face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or to the voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, your friendly demeanor, you're just so friendly with everybody. Like it's kind of crazy how just like warm and welcoming you are, because it's led you to meet a lot of really cool people. I mean, it's led you to a lot of awesome opportunities. You've traveled, you've been
Yeah.
asked to come to events across the country. You've been you're an ambassador for Mud Gear, and you've like gotten to know the founder of Mud Gear
Yep.
because of your very endearing personality. And you were also a HYROX ambassador for the Texas region.
Yeah.
So people just know that you're like the hype guy. Like you're the fun guy.
Well, and two, I mean, it all goes back to, I fully believe that a rising tide lifts all boats. You know, you're going to see that over a lot of my content, bios, favorite quotes, all of that, because I fully believe that if I can put more good out, I expect that there will be more good in the community for others to partake in, and a rising tide lifts all boats. I mean, you can picture that, right? And so whenever I go into a space, that's all I want to do. I just want to put as much good out there as I possibly can, because I don't know if it'll return to me or not, but it could be passed along to someone else. And, you know, you mentioned like my demeanor in that, getting these awesome opportunities. It's never planned. Every single one of those has a cool story behind it. The shortest one that I could possibly even share is, you know, I met Will Raymond, who does a lot of videography for Spartan.
Oh yeah, Will's
and-
super sweet.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's the
Video
most
Will.
awesome dude. Yeah.
Yeah, hi
And
Video
so-
Will, we love you.
Oh, absolutely, man. I was texting him on the way here. Not while I was driving. I was voice texting. But and like I met him through Instagram because we saw each other on the course and get a chance to talk, which is how I meet 99% of the people within this space now. And we just became friends. Like I've stayed at his house and everything. He's coming down. He came down for HYROX Houston. And I was like, man, like I have an early wave. I wanted to stay close to the venue, but you know, hotels are expensive. And he was like, bro, I'm staying at the Mud Gear Airbnb. Why don't you come down? We're doing a video shoot the day before. I'm like, sweet, you know? And so he got me the spare bedroom. And, you know, the people with Mud Gear were like, yeah, bring him on. I show up to the gym they're doing the photo shoot at, and there's this guy there and this lady, and you know, I get to talking to him, and one of them's like the social media manager. Didn't get a chance to like talk to the other guy, and Will's like, hey, would you like mind taking him to HEB? We're gonna go to the Airbnb, but he wants to get some stuff for the Airbnb grocery wise. I'm like, sure. So we get in the car and we start talking and everything, and he's asking a little bit about me. And I was like, you know, Will didn't tell me much about you guys, so what do you do for Mud Gear? He's like, oh, I'm the founder. And I was like, what? You know, like I'm driving around the founder of Mud Gear right now to get groceries for the Airbnb. Like, how cool is that? And so through that relationship, became an ambassador for them, have had the opportunity to represent them at some different events, do IG Lives for them, offer product feedback, which they're very receptive to, which is incredible.
That's awesome, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and again, just every single opportunity that I've had has just been saying, you know what, like I'm not gonna be afraid to go into this space. I'm just gonna be authentic, genuine, put kindness into the space that I'm in through genuine connection, and just see what happens.
Yeah.
And the places it's landed me, man. I mean,
awesome.
it's cool.
That was really good. Well, I think that's one of the great things about OCR. So, you know, I mean, we talk all the time about running, right? Because that's, you know, we're a running podcast. And a lot of our listeners, all they do is run. And they don't even, when they hear OCR, they don't even know what that means,
No,
right?
no
So
one knows
obstacle
what it
course
means.
racing.
Yep.
But then we also have listeners and people who watch, I think on my YouTube channel, I was looking and I have the video I have that has the most views. I think it's got like 30,000 views on it or something like that, is a video I did on OCR, like on technique of OCR, right? So it's very niche. It's a small group, but there's a ton of people who are doing it. And so I think runners or people who are, you know, into fitness and stuff, I think if they ever go out, like you said, go out and do it one time, they're probably going to be semi-hooked.
Yeah.
And they're going to want to keep going back or do something like it, right?
Yeah.
And so you hear this term coming out a lot, hybrid athlete, right? I'm hearing it all the time. It's how we've been training, like, as long as I know, like that hybrid, but we didn't come up with a sweet name. But the hybrid athlete is someone who can basically do it all, right? They're an athlete, right? They can run, they can lift, they can, jump over a wall if necessary, climb a rope, right? So it's a little bit of everything, and you're kind of ready in season and out of season. You're always on to an extent, right?
Yeah.
And so, getting into this, because you are a HYROX ambassador, you are a Mud Gear ambassador, you're doing all these OCR events. What do you feel like kind of going forward is like your biggest passion, or what is the thing you're probably the most excited about right now?
Dude, that is the $1 million question for me right now. If I'm 100% honest, like I've had this huge struggle between, do I want to be like the elite athlete, and push that boundary and go for podiums and things like that, or do I want to be the hype man, the guy
You're
that
really
goes
good at
out
it.
and just has fun with it?
Yeah.
Because I love podiuming. I mean, who doesn't love winning, right? But what's crazy is I almost get more joy and more intrinsic value, if you will, from that story of that person that's like, bro, like I ran my first Spartan because of you, and I've gotten those.
That's awesome.
There was a girl in San Antonio that about a year ago, Tough Mudder, she reached out and she was like, yeah, I signed up, but like my friends backed out. Now I don't know what I'm going to do. And I was like, I'm running with, I'm sorry, not San Antonio, College Station. But I was like, I'm running with my wife and a couple of friends from the gym. Why don't you just come join us? And she was like, oh, really? Like, that's okay? I'm like, yeah, come on. And so this random person that I had never met before joins our group, runs a Tough Mudder, and like, we just have a blast with it.
Sure, yeah.
And to think that she was not going to do it because she didn't have somebody. And that was my story.
Yeah.
And so, that's where I'm starting to try and really find out, like, do I want to go for podiums, or do I want to be the guy that continues to just bring people in? And honestly, I'm leaning that direction. I still want to perform my best. Who doesn't?
Sure.
But at the end of the day, I have these 3 C's. I have community, content, competition. And I'm trying to make sure to align myself with those priorities in that order, right? So if I go to a competition, or if I go to an event and I have to sacrifice being around my community and encouraging my community to win, then it's not a good day, right? If I have to sacrifice maybe some content that could encourage thousands of people for competition, then what's the point, right? At the end of the day, and I think I texted you this, the metals rust,
I like this.
right? I wish I could remember the whole thing.
Oh, I have it.
Yeah, like the metals rust, right? All of that stuff goes away, right? And the legacy that we leave is the impact that we've had on people.
Yeah.
There are people who are fitter because of what we do. There are people who are healthier because of what we do, right? There's not anybody that's better off because I have a second place or first place medal on my wall.
Right.
So,
Right.
so to answer your question, sorry, I know that was a really long way of answering it, but
We're all about the long way to answering things. Trust me.
to answer your question, I really think that what continues to bring me back is the community. It's the people that I get to see. Because at the end of the day, I'm probably not going to go compete in something unless I know somebody there.
Yeah.
Because that's my thing, man.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, were you at the OCR World Championships last year?
I was not. It is a bucket list item for me to go to OCR.
have you been?
Wait,
You
you
haven't
haven't
been
done
yet?
that one yet?
I've never been.
Oh, wow.
It's a fun one.
Wow.
Yeah. So honestly, HYROX LA coming up in December will be my first, make sure I'm saying this right, my first participating out-of-state event.
Oh, really?
And you'll be doing that with Mercedes.
Yeah,
correct?
we're going to be running doubles in LA, which I'm super stoked
That's
about.
gonna be
Yeah.
awesome.
So, and a lot of times it's just because travel is just so expensive.
It is.
It
These
does.
things. So,
Unless you're doing it with like a group, it gets so pricey.
yeah. So if there's anybody like airlines listening to this, you want to sponsor an athlete, Neil Krebs, you can hit me up.
We've been trying to do that for so long, man.
Nice.
But yeah, so OCR, WC, I have so many friends that go. I'd love to just go
would
and
love it.
experience
Well, see, that was
it.
always something that fascinated me. So a few years ago, or actually, I want to say it might have been 2018, perhaps. We did an athlete sponsor kind of thing, like where you were, we had a BC Fitness OCR team, right?
Yeah.
And so I think we had like 5 or 6 people on the team. So we had tryouts to an extent,
Sure.
and it was really less about physicality and more about like, what do you do, where are you coming from,
Yeah.
and I wanted to hear your story, right? And so I was surprised at how many people that responded that do 25, 30, 40, 50 races a year, right? Well, there's no way you can do that living in Texas and only do
Yeah.
the Texas races, right? You're going to have to
Right.
go
Everywhere.
all over the
Yep.
place. And that, I thought I raced a lot,
Yep.
right? And these people like were out of control. And so when I would talk to them, when I had some of my interviews and stuff, most of it was like, I'd say probably 95% of those people that I spoke with were strictly doing it because they enjoyed the event.
Yeah.
And they enjoyed the event because of the community and the camaraderie, and it was like hanging out with their friends. And then the secondary thing was they were being challenged,
Sure.
right? Physically challenged, and they were feeling they were accomplishing something. But the biggest thing was that the community was just so awesome,
Yeah.
right? So welcoming, so helpful, so encouraging, and they were creating these like little, family cells
Yeah.
like all over the country, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think you also just create like these real big core memories. Like if I like look back at my phone, I'm like trying to like clear out space on my phone constantly. It's either my dog, my bees, or pictures from races. Like those are like the main things. So like you create these core memories, and I think that's like and those are the things that stick with people. And I think that's why they also
Yeah.
want to do it.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I like the community. It's a community competition, and what was the other one?
Content.
So
Content.
community, content, and competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what's the content? What's that about?
So again, like I can stand on a street corner and talk all day long, and maybe the 100 people that walk by are going to hear it, right? The day and age that we live in, I'm a huge fan of like Gary Vee and a lot of those guys. The day and age that we live in, we can reach millions of people.
Yeah.
And you never know how many people you're going to reach or the impact that you're going to have on somebody by just putting a piece of content out there. My highest viewed piece of content is me doing the whole iron cross thing through the Tough Mudder electroshock therapy, right? Has like, I think 5.1 million views on TikTok or something like
nice.
that. And I've got a couple of others that have crossed 1 million, but I've gotten messages all the time, whether I'm filming something on course and just kind of saying a little something or showing something, or whether it's in my home office / studio, whatever you want to call it, where I've shared like, hey, sometimes you're scared to do something, do it scared, right? And a message around that. And I get DMs all the time. It's like, oh my gosh, like you literally just spoke right to the struggle I've been having the last few days. I've had people stop me at gyms when I drop in, like, bro, I follow you. And this message that you shared a couple weeks ago or whatever spoke to me. When I was in, I think it was Spartan Austin, one of the guys I got to share the age group podium with, right before that had come up to me and was like, bro, like I've been pushing harder because I follow you on Instagram and it's awesome. Like you've challenged me. And then we went out and raced and he actually podiumed and got to stand next to me on the podium, which was one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so again, like I never know what's going to hit, and I really don't do it for the views and the likes and all of that. I know where my value comes from, so I'm not worried about trying to get value out of the social media stuff, but I want to add value.
Yeah.
I want to give people so much value and encourage them, and I want any person, regardless of their age, shape, season of life, whatever, to feel like I can do that too.
Yeah.
So that's what the content's about, man. I just want to show what's out there, and hey, you can be a part of this too. I don't care where you're at in life.
Right. So, your shirt, Get Hype Video.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, is that like the name of something, or is that like just you always trying to get? What is that about?
So Get High Video was kind of born out of this. I was going to so many events, right? And like
Yeah.
we've talked about, events can be expensive. And so I started asking myself, like, I'm creating this content, I'm doing fun stuff. How can I help or have my content subsidize what I'm doing a little bit?
Gotcha.
And so I went to a gym that was doing a DECA and was like, hey, I want to test this idea. You mind if I offer personalized videos to athletes as they do their run, like, Instagram Reel or something like that? They're like, sure, man, go for it. So I created a video for the gym for letting me do it, and then I created some reels for people, and people loved it.
Wow.
And I think what happens is when people see a video like that of themselves, it almost is like, wait, that's me?
Yeah.
I look like that?
Yeah.
I
keep trying to get Lauren to make cool videos of me. But if I want them, I gotta make them myself.
Oh my God. No, you just never like my editing.
There you go.
You don't like my angles.
No,
Yeah.
she's like all up in your face.
I like to get the close.
She wants
I
to
want
be,
to see like the
like,
sweat
right in your
dripping.
eyeball.
You
I'm
gotta shoot it with a GoPro 2.7K and 60 frames.
Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong.
Slow-mo.
That's what I'm doing
Yeah,
wrong.
because then you can slow it down,
Yeah.
and at 2.7K,
You can.
you don't have to be like in his face,
The new
right?
GoPros are
You can
way
zoom in, yeah.
nice, though.
I'm gonna hate on GoPro just a little bit. I don't go over the Hero 7 Black because the 8s and higher overheat a lot.
You hear that, GoPro?
Sorry, GoPro. I love the gimbal that y'all sent me, but yeah. Anyways, I don't want to hate on GoPro too much. I love my Hero 7 Black. It does the trick. It does the job. But as I was doing this Get Hype video thing, I had more people start reaching out. I had other gyms say, hey, you did this at this gym. Can you come do it at our event? And it's just kind of taken off faster than I really expected it to. So long story short, what it is, the gym pays a little bit for me to come in. They get a good 2 to 3 minute YouTube video out of it, or 2 to 3 Instagram reels. I'm on site, and as y'all said, like when I come on site, I'm not just gonna be like, oh, I'm just the film guy. You know, I'm jumping in, I'm encouraging people.
Sure.
Really
I'm
in it.
Yeah, like I'm there, like I'm present. If I'm filming someone, I know their name, I'm encouraging them.
You're getting them hype while you make the video.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
very much
Get
so.
hype, you know, and we're taking a video at the same time, you know? So it's just been a blast, like creating this content for the gyms and then the personalized content for the athletes, which if an athlete were to bring in a videographer, they're gonna pay like
A lot of
$400,
money.
$500, $600,
Sure,
right?
right.
If the gym brought in a videographer, it's gonna be $400, $500, $600. As of right now, you know, I'm only charging gyms like $200 or $300. I come in for the day, film the event. You know, we're creating awesome stuff. I'm helping. I have a little booth that I set up now. Mud Gear's even kind of like been like, hey, can we be a part of this too? So I've got Mud Gear socks for sale. You know, I'm currently working a deal with some energy and nutrition. I won't throw out names quite yet, but basically my goal with Get Hype Video, which it may turn into just Get Hype event, whatever, is to come in and just help gyms make their event that much better for their participants at a cost that is not detrimental to gyms. Because micro gyms, I mean, you know this better than anybody.
Yeah.
Margins can be thin sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I want to make sure that it's affordable for the gym, it's affordable for the athlete, but it's also, you know, it's worth my time as well. And as of right now, it's taking off like a rocket. In
Yeah,
fact,
you were supposed to compete at Believe Games, and I got there, and you said I can't compete. I've got too many people who asked for a video.
yeah. In fact, I had
That's not a
I had a
bad
guy
problem.
I had a guy sign up last minute, and he didn't show up. But I messaged him. I was like, bro, where you at? And he actually had a family member pass away the night before. And he was like, man, I just don't have the spirit. And I got to message with him a little bit. And again, this just goes back to the whole like connection thing, just really kind of even tying it all together. But I got to message with him a little bit and just encourage him and say, hey man, I'm so sorry about that, you know? And it's just incredible, the connections I get to make through it, because it's not just about the video. It's about, I get to like interact with you now. I get to show you how awesome you are in this event space. I get to be at more events, you know, and it not be a drain on the finances.
Yes.
And so it's just a blast.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's awesome, man.
So you hear that, guys? You need your gym to get some photo booths in. Use code BCFitPro.
Oh, here he goes.
Okay, you
Yeah.
gotta
There
watch
he
out.
goes.
Rocky
He
likes to
said
hand out discount
$200,
codes.
$300 for the gym. You know, depending on how big the gym is.
He's creating coupon codes. He always tries to do this for my
He will
coaching.
slide in and
He'd
create
be like
coupon
10%
codes that you
off.
don't approve of.
Use promo code Get Hype Rocky or something like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
So you do a lot of events. I mean, any special events coming up?
Oh, 100%.
You're so dumb.
Shameless.
Me or him?
You.
I'm very shameless.
No, I have no problem jumping on that shameless plug. So yes, August 19th, right? I got that date right?
August
That's correct.
19th.
Yeah.
Right here at BC Fitness.
You
Y'all have
heard
got
it
like a little
first.
HYROX sim thing going on where people can come out, they can check it out, see what BC Fitness is about, see what HYROX is about. I'll be here repping HYROX as a PFT coach and a HYROX ambassador. And it's going to be a blast. I'm really looking forward to it. And so if you're on the fence about like, I don't know about this HYROX thing,
Yeah.
right? It's an easy toe in the water.
And
Yeah.
it's free.
And it's free.
And it's
free.
free,
Like,
You
yeah.
don't
We're
have
doing
to
it for
pay.
free.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
Free when you use code. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Get hype, Rocky.
Actually, I'm really excited. We actually had a meeting before
We had a
you
meeting right
came
before you got
today
here.
to kind of go through
Oh,
the
yeah.
kind of the layout and how we're going to
Format.
do it. And because
I
my
think it'll be
goal
fun.
was we've done a PFT and you know, and they're cool, right? But
Sure.
one of my things with the PFT was just I feel like this is not probably a good way, but I'm not a HYROX ambassador, so I can say whatever I want.
Go for it.
It's not like the best representation because
Sure.
like you go and do it and you're like psych when you show up at the event, right?
yeah.
Because
So
there's a
much
lot
harder.
more running,
It's
right?
so much
yeah.
harder.
So I wanted to try to like with our event, I wanted to try to give them almost the feeling of HYROX, but like super light. like very
Sure.
light. So
Not as scary.
it's not scary. Yeah, definitely. The time won't take very long, but we're gonna have a rock zone. We're gonna have running, right? You're
Yeah.
gonna run, 4 laps or what have you.
So here's a big question though: are you going to have a sled push?
Yeah.
We are. We're gonna have a sled push.
Perfect. That's the one thing I've done at a lot of PFTs, even though it's not in the PFT.
Yeah.
If the gym has a sled available, I've always tried to load it up and see like, hey, like if you want to try this out, this is the zone that everybody
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, they get
real
scared
nervous
about.
about.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do. So my goal too was I wanted to get a feel for HYROX, but then also like what are we about, right? So we have our own
Yeah.
personality, we have our own way of doing things, and how we kind of encourage people and how we do fitness. So it's kind of a combination between
Sure.
the two. But just kind of walking through it and doing the whole thing. I think honestly, I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be
I
a
think
good
it's gonna be really
experience.
fun.
I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be different, right? So,
Yeah.
So you're hearing this here first.
Yeah.
Okay. She's going to
This
send
is
out the
outstanding.
information, but
Make sure you're following, us on all the socials so you can see it. I'm posting about it regularly. You want to get all the details,
Yeah.
you register.
So, but what we're basically going to do is it'll be 8 laps, right? Or
Nice.
eight stations to an extent, right? So you'll start off with a run, okay, about a quarter-mile run. Then you'll come in to the first area and you're going to do a skier.
Okay.
Okay, and it's going to be for a minute. So it's not distance; it's going to be timed, right?
Okay. Okay.
Go as hard or as slow as you want. You get points based off of your meters.
Love it.
Okay. Then you're going to run to your next section, which is going to be the. What did we say was next?
I got it.
It was
toe touch.
Nope.
Nope.
That's not correct.
Push-ups. Not.
No, it's
Push.
push-ups. There we go.
Yep.
So you're gonna do hand release push-ups for a
Nice try.
minute.
Know your
Right?
format,
As
James.
many as you can do in a minute. Okay. Hand release
Okay.
push-ups. Then you're gonna do another lap.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. You're gonna come back in after your lap. Then you're gonna do your toe taps. Okay. You're gonna hit. So
Okay.
basically, you're in a push-up position, tapping your toes. You get a point for every one you hit in a minute. Then you're gonna run, and then you're gonna do your sled
No,
push.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't try to correct me. I know what I'm
right.
talking about here.
Because when you said run, it confused me. But
Yeah. You're gonna run to the sled push.
the
Yeah.
sled push,
Listen with
yes.
your ears, not with your mouth. So then you're going to do a sled push. Sled push will basically be, it's about 15 meters.
Uh-huh.
And for every 15 meters you push, you get 10 points.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Once again, you only get a minute to do it.
Sure.
You'll run again. You'll come in. Then we're going to switch over, and you're going to start doing burpees, right? So you're going to do actual burpees. You get a minute to do as many burpees as you can. You'll run to the next section. Then you row
Okay.
for a
love
minute,
me a rower.
right? As many meters as you can get in a minute. Then you get one more lap. You're going to come in, and when you come in, this time you're going to do lunges, run again, and then it's the wall balls. So just like HYROX, we're going to
Yeah.
end with the last two things being
Yeah.
lunges and wall balls, right? And it's as many wall balls as you can get in a minute, and that's your time.
Yeah. Blow
right?
up the legs.
Blow it all up, right? So the goal is to kind of give you that feeling of like, okay, I got to think, where am I going next, right? How fast, how slow should I go on my laps? And then we're even going to have like a little spectator area where you can walk from one side to the other. So I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be, hopefully, it's going to be going off without a hitch. But I feel like if we can pull it off really well, I think people will get like a really good like experience of
Yeah.
what the HYROX is like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be a blast. So let me just out of curiosity to clarify: you're running the laps, but everything is a time domain. Like you do something in a certain amount of time. So does how fast you run the laps? How does that play in
It
your
will
score?
matter.
So it does matter.
So
we actually need
total-
to think of that.
So total, there's time caps where you can get bonus points.
Okay.
If you're under 15 minutes, you get 20 bonus points.
Okay.
If you're under 18 minutes, you get 15 bonus points. If you're under 20 minutes, you get like
5.
10 or 5 bonus points, right?
Okay, I like
so
that.
there's an encouragement to run the laps faster.
Yeah.
So that you can get those extra bonus points.
We don't want people to have an excuse to like go really, really hard in the stations and then just mosey through a
Right,
lap. We want
right.
them to
Sandbag
keep
the
their heart
running.
rate up.
Right.
For
Keep their
sure.
heart rate up.
Well, and two, that's so much easier. You know, you see some of these competitions where it's like, oh, well, part of it's time and part of it's reps,
Yeah.
right? And then it's like, we're going to take the time and we're going to do the seconds, and then we're going to subtract the meters
Yeah, no,
from
no,
the
no,
seconds.
no, no.
And it's like, oh my gosh, like,
Math majors.
this is like going back to like calculus
I
or
know,
something.
right? No, no,
you
no.
know?
This
That's
is
a lot
just,
of
it's just, we're going to do time so we can keep it flowing.
Yeah.
Right? We can be finite, and then you can push yourself as much as you can, but then you get a bonus
Yeah.
based off of,
I love it.
if you go really fast.
So we're gonna have like judges at every station helping keep these points and
Keep
all
the
that.
counts and
I
the-
will not be a judge at a station. I've been asked to just man the booth and stand there and look nice. They didn't want to hand me a
I don't know if she can.
Oh.
You
I
know
don't,
what?
I don't know
It's
if she could hold the standard. She's too
honestly,
nice.
it's no. It's I was gonna say
She'll be
something
like,
in that.
it'll be
I
like
get-
she'll be cheering them on,
I-
and then oh, it's been a minute and a half.
Yeah, no, that's not even joking. That's a real
That's
concern.
actually, I can actually really see that
That's a
happening.
real
Oh my
concern
gosh.
for me too. Is I get so invested that I forget what I'm doing. Like
that
there's
or
been
they
times
they lose count. Like, how many did I do? You're like, I don't know.
I actually volunteered for HYROX and I was in charge of wall balls, which is terrifying because I'm like, don't mess this up, Lauren. This is where people kill you.
Yeah.
I was so on edge and counting.
Yeah.
I was like, don't talk to me.
I
I'm
don't.
counting.
I don't judge events. Period.
It's so scary.
Like I work CrossFit competitions, and the last one that I worked was in San Antonio, and they were like the first event we were short on volunteers. They were like, you have to judge.
Yeah.
I was like, then you better give me the easiest thing possible.
Any farmer carries.
No, it was like a max like power snatch or something like that.
Okay.
And so they were like, literally, you have to count to 1.
Yeah.
Right? They just have to do it, and then you just have to make sure the weight's right.
Yeah.
And I still screwed that up. Like I was looking at the weights on one of the waves, and I was like, and luckily like there was a guy behind me that was like a level 2 judge or something like that. I was like, how much is that? Right? And he's like, it's this much. I was like, okay, thank you.
Yeah, you know, I think people
don't be
like
mathin'
I've been
Oh, yeah.
several events, especially like for HYROX, right, or HYROX style competitions, where people give the judges such a hard time, right? And
It's a
I
lot
know
of
they want to do
pressure.
their
Oh,
best.
my gosh.
I know they want to like, you know, they've got times they're going for, they got podiums they're going for.
Yeah.
But like I think it was Dallas last year, I was a head judge at the wall
Oh yeah,
balls,
you get like
right?
Yeah.
you got
and
assaulted.
there was 3 head judges at the wall balls, right? 3 head judges at the wall balls, and then we had all these people that were working like shifts,
Yeah.
right? And so, like when they told us when we started, we were supposed to get like a 15-minute break, like twice, and then a lunch break of like 30 minutes to an
Yep.
hour or something like that, right? I got no 15-minute breaks. I got no lunch
you
break.
kept going.
Like it was from the start to finish. I had to say I need to go to the bathroom so I could sneak off and go get a piece of pizza, right?
Yeah.
When they were serving. And so, man, it was nonstop the whole time. There was
Yeah.
one point where we were so inundated with people that like one judge was counting 2 people.
That's
right? It was one of the
horrible.
actual employees of HYROX.
Yeah.
Because so many people had come into that zone at the same time. And so, dude, it was exhausting. And, you know, kind of like you, like the coach in me just like comes out.
Yeah.
And so I'm like cheering people on. I'm coaching them through it, right? You know, I'm trying to make sure that the other counters are counting properly, right? And, dude, it was stressful,
Yeah.
Yeah.
to say the least. I mean, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And I feel like a lot of people came up to me afterwards like, oh, man, thank you so much. It was so good.
Yeah.
Like, you did a great job. Da, da, da. So
Yeah.
that helped a lot.
Yeah.
But then there was like one time, I think it was one of the elite girls came in, and she wasn't even on the podium. She was like 5th or 6th or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was waving her because they wanted us to send them, you know, one on
Right.
either side. So I'm like on this side, waving her to go to the other side, go to that side. She came up to me and just shoved me and said, "Get the blank out the way." And I was like, girl, you don't even
You're
know.
just like you're thinking in the back of your head, I hope you get no rep.
That's maybe that's why she wasn't winning. That positive mindset's huge. She had a negative mindset.
That's
So-
exactly right. It might be.
Well, be
Might
nice. It
Yeah.
pays off.
That's right.
So quick PSA to anybody listening: be nice to your judges.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
They're
it's
doing
like-
the
it's like
best they can.
It's
Yeah.
like be nice
With
to your
all
waiters,
they have
be
to work
nice
with.
to your judges.
Now I will say too, PSA to anybody volunteering to judge: speak up.
Talk.
Right?
Yes.
Because I had a judge one time, and you know, she was obviously kind of thrown in last minute or whatever, but she was counting my wall balls, and she's like, 22, 23.
They're
And
so
I'm like,
shy sometimes.
When they're
What?
so scared,
Like,
oh, I know
you
it.
can yell at me, like it's
Bro,
okay.
So last year in Vegas at the World Championships, my partner and I were coming in, and it was like 1, 2, 3, and 4th place. We're all at the wall balls at the same time, right? So this is for the World Championships. And he and I are grinding it out. You know,
Yep.
I did like 30 in a row. I dropped the ball or whatever. And then he starts throwing them up. And I was like, what's our count? She's like, 22. I'm like, what? I'm at 45. How are you counting 22, right? And he's like, you got to go higher. Not
Yeah,
one time said anything,
what?
right? So that was
Yeah.
frustrating, right? So yeah, so if you're going to judge, if you're going to be a judge on any,
Be
you know,
vocal.
vocalize,
Yeah.
communicate, let them know if they're not going high enough
Yeah.
or low
If
enough,
it's a no
right?
rep,
if they're
you
getting the
gotta
bucket,
tell them
right?
it's a no rep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so let them know they're not getting no reps. So, but I mean, you're in the heat of the moment.
Sure.
You know,
Sure.
when you're a competitor anyway. I get that, but remember, I mean, these people are volunteering.
Oh, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the people in OCR too. You know, there's guys all the time and ladies all the time that are out there, you know, manning the walls and you know, manning the burpee
They're
stations
not
and
getting
stuff.
paid.
They're not
They're
getting
just giving
paid.
their
No.
time.
Yeah.
They're just, you know, they're just doing something to volunteer to be a part, right? They might get a free race, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm
but
not gonna lie, even that free race sometimes is
it's
like,
not. Actually, at the OCR World Championships last year, we volunteered.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we didn't sign up early. They just needed help.
Yeah, they asked us really last minute.
They were
needed
like,
a
if
lot
you'll
of
work a half a
volunteers.
shift, we'll give you like a race, right? So we jump in, we work a
Volunteered.
full shift,
Yeah.
right? Grinding it
Yeah.
out, right?
We were very tired.
We were
We'd all just
extremely
raced.
tired because we had all just got through racing
Yeah.
like 9 miles up 4,000 feet of elevation, right? So, so I mean, people were nice. Most people, because we were at the
We were at the medals.
We were at the medal
at a-
station,
we were
so
at a
everybody
pretty
was
good
happy.
spot.
Yeah.
They were just happy to be done.
yeah,
No,
they were
for
just
sure,
glad to
for
be
sure.
done, right? But yeah, I mean, I think if you race, you should probably at some point volunteer.
Just so you know,
Oh,
you need to know
yeah.
both sides of the coin.
You want to see both, but if you're a racer, be nice to the volunteers, man, and
Yeah.
tell them
They're
you
doing
appreciate
their
them.
best. Yeah,
that'll make a
always
big
telling you
difference.
appreciate them.
It's so easy just to, as you're going through an obstacle, a station, whatever, just to give a quick, like, thanks for volunteering.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right?
So
it's
easy.
not going to
Takes
mess up
no
your
time.
racing breath, I promise.
No, no.
You'll still get that podium or that PR. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Absolutely.
sure.
It's
Are you
incredible.
kicking Neil? Why are you-
I know. By the way, for those of you listening to this, I have the absolute cutest armrest.
Who's kicking you?
Who's kicking me?
This dog.
Yeah.
He's been here in a while.
He hasn't been here in a while. No, he joined today because I've been working so much. I haven't seen him, so I was like, "You're gonna get to go with mommy today." And he is like trying to take up as much of the real estate on this couch as he possibly can.
He kind of shot me a look like you are in my way.
Yeah, this
So-
dude comes in and he acts like he owns this
He
place.
really does. He walks into every room like, and
Yeah, he's
here."
walking around. He's like,
He tries to
I'm-
sneak into the kitchen.
The other day we were doing something and like somebody was trying to get to a piece of equipment or something.
And he just stands
And he's
there.
just standing there looking at him. And they were,
He
I don't know if
doesn't
they were
move.
afraid.
He doesn't move.
He wouldn't
Oh,
move. I was like,
guard
just
dog
kick him out of the
status.
way. He'll move, I promise. It's like, dude, move.
James has no problem telling Uji what's up.
No.
Aw.
No.
Cute armrest though.
Yeah.
But man, I'm stoked, dude. I'm stoked for the sim that y'all are doing. If you can't make it on the 19th, there's also several PFTs coming up around Houston.
Yep.
Definitely check them out. You can check them out at pft.hyrox.com. And again, like if you're on the fence about stuff, jump in. Like, don't hesitate because you're gonna find your new addiction, like we were talking about.
Yeah.
And if you're in it already, grab somebody and pull them up
I
because
agree.
you never know what kind of adventure you might end up on.
Well, I think a lot of the things that we get involved in, or at least we're trying to encourage people in, the biggest response I hear back is fear, right? Fear that
Yeah.
I can't do that, oh, I'm not going to enjoy that, or, it's going to be too hard, right? And so one of the things I think is really good about HYROX is that there's so many different levels like to kind of get in on,
Yes.
right? And the same thing with OCR, with Spartan, right? I mean, you've got you
open.
started with the sprint,
Yep.
right? But you've got so many different, that is the cool thing about today, man. There are so many options.
So many.
And then like adding in like the DECAs and the PFTs and the HYROX sims, like the local gyms
You can
doing
find a
these like
race for
mini.
every level.
You can find so many different places to kind of get your foot wet.
Yep.
Yeah.
To get a taste of it and feel what it's really not what it's really like, but you get a taste of what it's like, just enough to be like, okay, I think this could be really cool.
And you'll
Yep.
never be I think so many people are afraid they're going to go and embarrass themselves. I'm going to be the worst one. No, I guarantee you're not.
No.
There's everyone. I would say easily at least 40%, if not more, of the people who show up at these events, especially at gyms, they're doing the exact same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're afraid to come. They're starting off at the very beginning, and they're just
Well,
really trying to
if it's
see where they're at.
OCR, it's probably closer to 75%
Yeah.
of the people, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if you look
Easily.
at the elite waves and the competitive waves compared to like the open waves, there are way more people in the
Oh,
open
so
waves,
many.
and the people in the open waves are doing a lot of walking and a lot of
They don't know what
laps.
they signed
I was
up
gonna
for
say
most of the
burpees, but they don't
time.
do
Yeah.
burpees
They
anymore,
usually
right?
just sign up
Right.
to someone like, set up on a Groupon or let's do it for
Yeah.
fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And two, like when people sign up and they come in, like my story, they may find something that's like, I kind of want to see how far I can take this.
Sure.
My first sprint, I ran the four of us that were together. It was a husband, wife, a brother of wife, and then me, right? And I had never run more than 2 miles and had like massive shin splints when I tried to run. I was just horrible at it. And the husband, like he didn't really work out. The brother, sister, they were like marathoners. And so we were this diverse group of people that were like, we're just gonna go out and kind of tackle this thing. And we did. Well, then I signed up for the Super and the Beast because I left there like, when can I do this again?
Right.
Oh, what's this thing called a trifecta,
You caught
right?
the bug.
Yeah, for sure. But I wanted to see how fast I could do it. And I went and ended up like getting in the top 1% at the Super of open wave, right? Mind you, not competitive. And then when I went to go do the Beast, I was in like one of the earlier waves and I was passing several of the age group racers. And it was the guy at the tire flip towards the end that was like, man, you should be racing age group. And so what did I do when I went home? I was like, well, let me look at age group,
Age
right?
group it is.
And so it was one of those where I finally jumped in and did it with the sprint in 2018 and realized that wasn't that bad, right? And there's people along the way that are going to encourage me.
Sure.
And so let me see how far I can take this. I remember my first elite race, and it was in, I think it was 2021 when Spartan did the whole, like, you had to qualify for elite. I finally got like an age group podium and was like, I'm signing up for elite. And I went and ran elite at Spartan Stadium, and I was standing in that corral feeling so honored, like Victor Casada and, you know, Brandon Bonine and all them. And I'm like, I'm finally with the big boys. And I got freaking spanked.
I was
know
going
how
to
that
ask
goes.
how
Oh
it
my
ended.
gosh.
You weren't the only one in that elite heat.
Oh,
I think he was in that
Rocky,
elite
were
heat.
you in there?
I got
That was his first elite
Oh,
heat
that's
too.
so
Yes.
funny.
Last.
That dude went in there so cocky. He's like, I'm about to come in and
Oh, I
rep
didn't realize
shop.
Y'all got the same elite heat. That's
Oh,
great.
yeah.
That was his first and last elite heat, I believe.
That was my
Yeah,
first.
he never
Nice.
back.
So I will tell you this, that was my last elite heat as well. However, I think I'm gonna maybe try and run one more elite heat in Dallas this fall with the trifecta weekend, maybe on the super. It depends on how sore I am after the
Catch him in a
beast.
distance, not the short sprint.
Yeah. I'm
Y'all
gonna
can
try.
run it together.
No, I'm not doing that.
No.
I would love to.
But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those where, again, like I signed up. I take that back. I did sign up for an elite in what was the last one they had? Was it Austin, San Antonio, somewhere?
Waco.
No, it wasn't
no,
Waco.
there was one in
There
San
was one
Antonio. Yeah.
Yeah, so San Antonio. I won age group the day before, and my buddy was like, dude, your times weren't far off from elite. You could totally run elite. And so I upgraded to elite, and I ran. I'll spare you the details. Had some gastrointestinal distress
Okay.
on course.
We all know what that means.
Yes. Had to step off course for a moment, and still was like close to fourth place. Like I was right behind fourth place. And I know, like, if I would have not had to step off, or if I didn't have that slowing me down, I'm like, I could have placed.
Yeah.
Like, that's
awesome.
okay. You
They
know?
got like trophies for elite. They got the real
Right,
medals.
like the triangle and everything. I want a piece of wood on my wall, right? And so,
That'd be
like,
nice.
but again, if it takes away from everything else, you know, I want to be that encourager for the next guy.
Yeah.
And so, it's fun to think about, and I'll probably still give it one more shot because I'd love just to have that one elite trophy. But at the end of the day, you know, it's the lives we touch.
Yeah.
So.
For sure, man.
Yeah, you said in the email when we were talking, you said when someone had told you were talking to somebody and they told you when you make it big, just be sure to keep that same genuine, authentic personality. And you said you want that to be the reason why
Yeah.
you make it. You want that passion to be the reason that people know you.
Yeah. You know, again, because, and like I follow that up with, at the end of the day, the podiums get forgotten, right?
Yeah.
Like, could any of us say who won the elite podium at the Beast last year in Dallas?
No.
Yeah, no clue.
Not at all, right? And again, it's not for the fame and all of that, but, and I'm sure whoever won it, they're an awesome person, right? There's nothing against them at all. However, like, I want to touch more lives. I want people to remember me because they're like, that's the guy that got me into this, right? He's the reason that I'm in OCR now. He's the reason I'm fit and healthy and can run with my kids and play soccer with them or whatever that looks
Yeah.
like for them in their life,
Yeah.
right? And so, yeah, that I don't want to be known because I'm really fast. You know, I want to be known because I'm genuine and authentic and all of those things.
And speaking of
So-
kids, like, I mean, you've gotten your kids involved now. They did their Spartan
Yes.
Kids at Cat Springs, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was actually their second OCR. They've done the Spartan Kids. They've done Savage Jr. And my oldest, who is 11 now, has actually done his first official DECA as of a few months ago.
Oh, that's cool.
So I even got a little YouTube video up on my channel. But again, like, it's the people around us. It's the people following us. I think y'all even talked about, you know, with the BC Kids Camp that y'all have been doing, like, you're training up the next generation.
Right.
That's physically, that's mentally, it's spiritually, right? It's all of those things. And so I love seeing my kids get involved in it. Yeah, man, I got to be careful. Like, I'll start getting emotional
I'm
talking
seeing a
about
little
some of
glass
this.
happen.
But
Yeah.
that's why I like this group here. You know, they're after they get competing, they're some of the biggest cheerleaders out there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, James will go back onto the course and go to
Yes.
the rope
James
climb.
will
or
run in other athletes that aren't even with BC.
yeah, he'll
Fitness.
talk to random people, smack them on the butt.
No.
That, you might want to be careful
He'll
with
smack
that.
Only men.
He'll only men.
I've
He's
never,
very
I will
respectful.
never. If
He
that's
knows
my
better.
wife, bro. And I only smack people that I know.
Really,
on
it's,
the-
let's face it, it's really only
Yeah.
Tommy.
I'm
and-
coming to find you.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I'm gonna be
wanna-
honest
I
with you.
wanna
If I
James-
pass you, you're getting smacked.
I
if
want
know
a
you.
James that a boy.
I'm gonna like that whole lift and separation. I'm telling you right now, I will discover
There
if
is
there's
a
any
certain
cheek back
technique
there.
to
Yeah,
it.
you got to be able to get under it. So
Get under it.
but yeah, I mean that's actually you mentioned like earlier, about the community part of it and about not letting the competition outweigh the community, right? And being an impact. And for me, I tell these guys all the time that for me the racing, it's fun and it's cool, right? But I enjoy the in-between time, and I enjoy seeing other people be more successful, right? So most of the reason why I do race at all or do any things I do is just so that I can show people that it can be done, more so than like my own personal like accolades. I'm old. There's nothing that's gonna. I'm not gonna. Nobody's coming to look for me to see if I want to put me in the Olympics or on a show or anything. I'm too old and decrepit now, right? But I can help encourage people, right? And I can like be like you said, an inspiration for people.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably one of the things I love most is as soon as I'm done racing is finding people to like encourage and like cheer on and motivate, run in. I love running people in.
You do love running people in.
Yeah.
It's
I
a lot
love
of fun.
running. I love.
Yeah.
He just likes getting in people's fire jump photos, doesn't he?
He really does.
No, I always skip the last part. I run them in and then
he stops.
then I
Okay,
stop
okay,
and then I
okay.
let them go. But like my wife at the
like
stadium
training wheels on a
in
kid.
Waco,
Yeah.
Let 'em go.
They were calling out the podium spots,
Yeah.
and I saw her coming down, and she hit the rig, and so I was like, screw it. I just went and ran with her. Like I didn't care to hear my name or whatever. And so like I pushed that chick hard.
Yeah,
man.
you
I
really
was
did. You were,
running
like,
hard.
really
She was
yelling
breathing
at
heavy,
her.
but she was following me the whole way. She crushed it and finished
awesome.
it. And we ran fast enough that I was still able to get back and hear my name called. So
Didn't she podium too?
she ended up podium,
she
yeah.
podium too.
So I was so proud of her, but that's so fun to me.
He was secretly telling her, like, don't you make me miss my podium spot now. You better run faster.
No, not really. I
His
mean,
and
like
her
you said,
podiums.
they rust. I can always go back and get it, right?
Oh, 100%.
And let's be honest. They know my name.
They
when they
know
say
me.
James Wyatt, people are like, "Oh, we know him." I'm playing. Nobody knows. They're like, "Who's this guy?"
All 20 people in BC
Exactly.
jerseys.
All 20 people.
Which,
All
by the
20
way, I
people.
will say this: like when y'all show up to an event, y'all show up in
We
force.
show
Yeah,
up
we try
with,
to.
with a little army.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's
That's
fun.
always awesome.
So, and that was actually he and I talked about this. Is I remember, so I think it was that 2018 race in Houston, right? And I went. We had like maybe 3 or 4 people, right? So we were still new. We just started in
Sure.
2017, and
Wow.
so we went and we started as an OCR gym. That was it. That was the main thing, was to get people to do obstacle course racing.
Right.
Right. So it was me and like 2 or 3 other people, and I remember seeing like the Lone Star Spartans, right? And I know that's just like a Facebook group for the
Yeah,
most
yeah,
part,
yeah.
right? But I remember seeing like so many of those people,
Yep.
and I was thinking, man, it'd be so cool if like we had like that kind of group, and then they all said BC Fitness, and we're running or what have you. And there were some people that I met there that day that I ended up getting a chance to coach later on. One particular person I can think in mind, that person, it took them like 3 hours to
Yep.
make it through that sprint, right? And now they're podium every time they race, right?
Yes.
So, seeing people grow and what have you, and I think it was it the HYROX Houston.
We brought like 30.
Yeah, it was almost
35
40 people that we
Yeah,
had,
we
we
had
had
an army
like
of people.
10 or 11 podium spots or what have you. And
Yeah.
like when that happened, I was like, dude, I mean,
did
it's
it.
still it's not
Yeah.
what my vision is, but I was like, this was what I saw. This is what I pictured. Like when we first started, right?
Yeah.
Was seeing people grow and spend time together and enjoy stuff together and get fit together. I mean, that's a great thing about it. But like literally seeing these people, like it's a family.
And it's all walks of life.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
every fitness level from every background you can imagine. So
Right.
that's what makes it really cool.
And I think that's what it's all about, right?
For sure. Well, and two, like, you talk about, oh, I'm old, like, I'm not going to the Olympics or anything like that. I was thinking about this on the way over here. Like, at some point, we're all fairly close in age, right? I'll give you that. But literally, like, in 30 years, what are we going to still be doing OCR? Are we still going to be?
I plan on. I don't know about y'all, but I'm planning on.
And
like-
I mean, I do plan on making an Olympic team. I mean, maybe a Masters Olympic team, but I plan on making one
It's the floor cleanup
we still
team.
have, like,
because
we
they're
still have
working.
some
They're working
years
on putting
before the
OCR in the
Masters.
Olympics. So
yeah.
Rocky
Well,
still got
but
10 years before he's
I'm
a
gonna
master.
if they make one, I'm getting on a team. Just
Well,
it may
and-
be like the geriatric.
I was
Yeah.
thinking
They'll
It'll be like
totally-
100-year-old man runs first Olympic runs Olympic marathon or OCR course.
They have old people races.
Oh, they sure
They do. They do have
sure
Masters
do.
in the Olympics. Yeah, for sure.
So, and I totally didn't mean to make that a rag on James's
we do it
age
all the
deal.
time. It's
Awesome,
okay.
cool.
Yeah, I'm fine.
But like, we're not going to be going out for the competition anymore, right? We're not going to be showing up because we want a gold medal, even though you'll probably be the only person. So all you have to do is show up for a gold
Yeah.
medal. But
It gets a little smaller.
yeah, you start showing up because the community wants you there, and you want to be a part of the community, right? Like I said, like, what fun is a competition if
You're doing it by yourself.
yeah, you know, that's the whole reason I got into the HYROX doubles with Mercedes, because I had run a solo open wave, you know, for men, and it's like I see all these people doing doubles and like having fun with it.
so much fun.
It's like I just kind of want to try this, and now I'm kind of hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
agree.
know,
See, I'm going the opposite direction. So I did the doubles
You've been
because
doing
I was like,
doubles.
it's stupid to do the singles. Like, that doesn't even look fun. So I booted my partner after the World Championships, and I'm going to do the singles in Dallas.
Okay.
Well,
Probably
there-
one time.
There was
But
originally
I just gonna
a
do it
bet
once.
to it. Originally, the bet was like, if I can get a flag in almost every.
No, they kept trying to pressure me to do a single.
Yeah.
And I told them, I'm not doing a
Yeah.
single until I get a flag in men's doubles, mixed doubles, and then the relay. So I got the men's doubles a few times. I
Every
got the mixed
time.
relay, but I didn't get the mixed doubles for some
Sorry.
reason.
I'm
Wah,
sorry.
wah, wah.
I'm sorry.
was that a little slide in there? Like,
slide in.
didn't get that one.
Sorry.
Somebody doesn't know how
Warren.
to count, and they're
that
really
was-
pushy.
Yeah.
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 Lauren, if
So
y'all
what-
know who we're talking about.
So are you, so are you doing open or are you doing pro in Dallas?
I'm just gonna do open. I'm not doing the pro, bro.
He's
No.
like, I know what that weight's
I pressed
like.
that. I pushed
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I did that weight in freaking Manchester.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So I think I haven't really said this publicly yet because I've worked with a competition last year in Toronto, a CrossFit competition, and I actually skipped out on Dallas HYROX because I was going up there. It's a blast. I absolutely loved it. But my FOMO for Dallas is like kicking in now. And so I've been going like back and forth, like, do I go to Toronto or the comp again? Do I go to Dallas HYROX? And I feel like as an ambassador, like I have a little bit of an obligation, but I really would love to be there.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm gonna go and make this public. I'm gonna sign up for open men at Dallas,
Nice.
and hopefully see you in the corral because
Yeah. Well, I
I'd
think I'm
love
a little
to.
older than you, so we'd be in different corrals.
Oh,
You and
that's
I are in the same
I'm in
age
the
group.
old
that's
guy
true.
group.
I forgot they divided it up like that.
So
that's
hopefully you
true.
won't catch up to me.
Yeah.
So
You'll
If
see
I
each
if
other
I
out
do, are you gonna give me a James butt slap on the way by?
uh,
I'll call James. I'm coming. I'm
If-
coming, James.
if
Just let you know, James.
if you
Slow
pass
down when you
me,
get in front of
I'll
him.
slap myself. How about that? How about that? Right. So yeah. So I'm trying to figure out the strategy on it, right? Because
Yeah.
I've never done it
You've
before.
never done the open by
not,
yourself.
not the by myself thing. So, but
all the elites say it doesn't start until after the
sucks.
burpees. So
yeah, I think it doesn't really start until after the rower. Personally, that's my personal,
That's
but
when it
which is
starts
after the
hurting the
burpees,
most.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's when the race really begins. So if you can manage your energy system and your pacing until that point,
Yeah.
then I think that's when you can start pushing.
Is your partner going to be running it also solo the same
He
race?
is.
So it's going to be interesting because y'all are now going to sort of be like
Enemies.
you're going not
Not
enemies, but you're going to be
enemies.
going
We'll
into
work
it
together.
competitively.
We'll work together as
That's
long
what
as we
I'm saying.
can.
I feel like y'all are going to almost be racing it like you're still doubles.
Yeah, as
But
long as we
you're gonna
can. I
be
mean,
trying-
I assume at one point one of us is going to get left behind.
You will, I
Either
feel like
me
that's
or
going to
him.
happen the very end, like the very
Right.
like,
Like at
last
some point,
station.
it would be awesome. I think it would be so amazing
Y'all
if we could
finish
keep
right
pace
together.
together, and then it would be like at the wall balls
Y'all, like,
together, right?
yeah.
But I just assume that at some point, because there's certain things that I'm better at than he is,
Yes.
and there's certain things he's better at than I am.
Yeah.
well, it may just be a
So-
back and forth.
It could be,
It very
right?
well
It could
could
be.
be.
So I don't
Them
know, but I have a
post-race
time in mind
pancakes
that's
gonna be awkward.
ridiculous. Say what?
The post-race pancakes when we go out to eat
It's gonna be a
afterwards.
weird
It's gonna be really
conversation at the
awkward.
breakfast table.
No, it's not like. I mean, we're boys, man. We're competing at the goals to compete at the North American Championships together as a team, right? So
That's awesome.
So we're not. No, please. The reason I wanted to do this as a singles was just because we've done the doubles so much,
Yeah.
and we've done really well, and I felt like, especially in Manchester, like I think we, and this is not a bad thing necessarily, but I felt like we depended too much on the other person.
On each
Like,
other. Okay.
and I think part of it was we were so tired.
Yeah.
We were just from all the sightseeing and like not actually
We didn't plan that
like
trip very
resting
well.
or what have you. But like I think it was always like, I need you to pick up my slack,
Yeah.
right? But he's picking up my slack and I'm supposed to be picking up his slack, right?
Yeah.
So like just knowing what it feels like to have to do that whole thing by yourself,
Yeah,
I think
the
will
time
help
you
us
knew.
like really appreciate. And then the training for it's gonna be a little. I mean, we've always trained like we were doing it by ourselves,
Right.
Right. So I think that's really helped us be as fast as we have been. So I don't know. Well, it's an experiment. Who knows? I may go out there and run like an hour and 30 minutes or something.
No.
You know? I
You'll
mean,
be close to that. I think you'll definitely be like
The
at that
boy
hour
bands
59,
going
that
solo
hour.
careers.
hour and
No,
59.
hours like slash 59.
Wow, you have a lot of faith in me.
I do.
You have a lot of
I do.
Wow, that is not an official goal time, guys. Just tossing that
That's
up.
Lauren's
My
goal time.
God, Lauren, what the heck?
What do you think you're gonna do? Like,
110.
wait, what did Hunter do?
I've got my. I am
Or
not
54?
Hunter. I'm not Hunter
Well,
McIntyre.
but you're
I
also
think you're
also
Hunter.
not doing pro.
yeah,
You're
I'm
not
still
doing
not Hunter
so-
McIntyre. So we'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I think you'll do really well.
We'll see what happens.
It's
Whatever
all-
time I run is the time I'm supposed to run.
Honestly, I think it's all in the runs, man. And like you,
It is.
You have running down.
Yeah.
Right.
Running
So
with James, I would hope so at this point.
right,
Otherwise,
like-
we're lying.
yeah,
know.
you're changing your podcast name if you don't know.
Pushing sleds with James.
Pushing sleds
Yeah,
with
or
James.
pulling sleds with. That's the one I'm good at. So, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So my goal is somewhere between an hour and 10 minutes. That's kind of where I want to be at. So it could be closer to like 120 by the time I get done with those dang freaking lunges.
Oh.
So
Those lunges
the
suck.
lunges are like the bane of my existence. We went and did the what was that thing called? The HYROX Academy.
The Academy.
Right,
yeah.
so we get
Oh my
certified as,
God,
like,
so
HYROX.
funny.
This is
Whatever.
that's on my list.
Right. So we're
So how was
sitting in
it?
there
So
and
funny.
they're talking
Got
and
Lauren and Mike.
every single thing. Like people are like, do this and then you can get better at this, right? So
Right.
like for for
Cosmo.
burpees, you can do burpees. You can also do farmer carries. You can do, everything was farmer carries. I felt like they were like, do farmer carries, you'll get better at it, right?
answers all your
Deadlifts, do this, right?
Right.
So they were giving you like different other movements you could do to help you with those movements.
Yeah.
And they were like lunges. And so I was like, I raised my hand. They were like, yeah. And I was like, so what can you do to get better at lunges? And, like the entire room, I'm not
They
kidding.
got so
I know-
silent.
They
It
all
was
got
so
silent and looked at
funny.
me like I was a complete idiot.
It was
And we're
so
like,
funny.
do more lunges, bro. I was like,
And Mark was like, I don't know how to answer.
he's like, I
that."
don't know how to answer that. And I was like, well, I mean, he's like,
Do
are you
more?
bad at lunges? I was like, well, I just feel like I suck at them. He's like, well, you just need to do more lunges. And then another guy's like, oh, is it a mobility issue?
Yeah,
I'm
James
like,
like,
bro,
nope.
what the heck is a mobility issue? I will crush you right now. Let's go outside and do some lunges. But like,
was
I
so
felt
funny.
so belittled, and there was no other answer other than do more lunges and get over it. What is it? Nobody cares. Work
Work
harder.
harder.
Work
Right.
harder.
So there's no stupid questions here except
Except that
that
particular one from this guy, right? So I was a little salty.
That
I
was
bet.
really funny.
I was a
I
little
bet.
salty.
I mean, but I had to admit, like, the second I knew it was coming, like, how do you get better at lunges? So, what would you say?
Now that
Coach?
you've
What would I
been
tell
doing
somebody?
more
Yeah, what would
lunges.
you tell somebody?
I would give them other options. I would say do stairs, like climb stairs.
Yeah.
Step up on boxes.
What about some Bulgarians?
do different variations of lunges?
Yeah, I knew
reverse,
somebody was
forward.
gonna-
Yeah, doing like so anything that would
Gross.
strengthen your glutes, hamstrings, and quads.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the answer we should have gotten.
Do heavier lunges,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I don't know. Split squats would probably be another good thing to do,
Sure.
right? But I was looking for like their golden like answer
Right.
From
to
the
really-
Academy
The
leaders.
silver bullet.
Like, okay, these guys are the experts. Please let me in on something that I don't already know. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh well. I knew I was an idiot. I didn't need you guys to tell me that. I was like, everybody already knows that. So, so
I look forward to doing that academy though. I haven't done that yet. That's on
was
the
fun.
on the list of things to
It was
do.
good. It
They
was-
hate running, just know.
it was like, yeah.
They all hate running.
Yeah,
They
well,
hate to run.
not Lauren and
Not our
Mark
group.
or whatever.
We're
But
all like, yeah, running. Like with the four of us.
dude,
we're like,
so they
yeah.
broke us out into groups, and we were supposed to come up with these like workouts, like
Yeah.
some of these different kind of workouts. And the one in my group was like it was supposed to be the 60-minute endurance workout or whatever. And so they were coming up with all these CrossFit workouts, right?
Ah.
And it was like, okay, we're gonna ski
Heavy
for 5
weight.
minutes, row for 5 minutes, bike for 5 minutes, and then we're gonna do burpees, this, and this. And I was like, hey guys, what do you think if we just ran for 60 minutes, nice and easy? Develop that aerobic capacity, and learn how to run because it's a running event. What do y'all think? And they all looked at me with that same.
That same
Yeah.
It's like,
stupid.
here's the freaking lunge guy again. Here he comes again with these stupid answers. So I was like,
What if we run for 60
just like, why did we
minutes?
get this guy in the group? This freaking
Yeah.
moron.
I had the same thing in my group. With my group, we had to come up with like intervals, and I said, okay, well, why don't we do like half mile, or we do the 1,000 meters between? They said, or we do 400 meters between each thing. I'm like, okay, or not. Okay, whatever. They were doing
Or how about this?
anything
We
to-
don't run at all.
Yeah, anything to get rid of the running or just make it
Right.
as little bit as possible.
Yeah.
So if you run, you're off to a good start.
Yeah. So if you see one of
Yeah.
my training plans and you're a HYROX athlete or a like a CrossFit athlete, you're gonna run a lot.
We're gonna make sure of that.
You're gonna run because
Yeah.
Running is it's like half of the
It's
event.
literally half the event.
It's huge. I do have to say, please don't go look at my Garmin data because you're not going to see a lot of running on there.
James
Even though I
only likes to
know
creep
I
on
need to
Garmin
be
data.
doing
I
it.
never creep on people's Garmin data. Never.
Bruh.
Unless they ask me to.
Unless they're paying him to.
Yeah.
And I feel bad too because I'm running the Habanero 100 on a 5-man team.
Wait, are
and-
you?
Yeah.
we're
So
gonna be there.
y'all gonna be there?
Out
Yeah.
there.
Awesome, awesome.
We have like 30 people going.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I love that. So here's the thing that sucks, right? So I had this guy reach out, literally that I met on a Spartan course during the Ultra. He's in my YouTube video, and he and his wife reached out and were like, "Hey, we're going to be at Habanero 100. We want to do a team. Would you be on the team?" They had some people drop off, so he reached out to me and was like, "Hey, do you know people that would come be on our team?" I was like, "Absolutely." So I reached out to my guys that I knew were fast runners, and like we all got into this group text, and they're like texting each other their runs, and like one of them was like a 7:15 6-mile this morning.
On the trails?
I think so.
Ooh.
And like I'm like, oh, I just put together a team of like ringers.
Are you
I'm
like
gonna
the slowest one?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be the slowest one. I'm calling it right now.
I'm going to be honest with you, bro.
It's all sand.
It
man.
doesn't matter how
sucks.
fast everybody is on the team. If
Yeah.
they have not been running in sand or in the hottest
a
part of the
totally
day,
different-
Well, and I've warned him on that because
Yeah.
I've ran Cat Springs, the 7IL quite a bit. But I did tell him this. I am really glad that they believe in me enough to think that I'll pull it through on race day.
Yeah.
Which is basically what happens. Like I don't run, and then I show up at a Spartan, and I win an age group.
Yeah.
Sheer willpower, baby. Sheer
we're
willpower.
in the
just
same boat.
think,
Those hopes and dreams.
if you were a great runner, what could happen?
Oh.
Think what would happen if you came to Sunday Fun Day sometimes.
Oh man.
That's my
So-
formal invitation.
That's
yeah.
your formal invitation.
So yeah,
All
we
right.
have I think we have like 5 teams. One team only has 2 people on it. So they're trying to do
Okay.
50K each.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And then
Ooh.
we
Yeah.
have teams from like faster to like
We have the
not
James
as fast,
team versus
right?
the not as fast.
So we have like we have like every end of the spectrum, and then we have a couple people that are just doing the whole thing.
his team, like everyone runs a sub 6-minute mile.
Wait, whole thing like the 100 miles?
The 100K.
100K.
Oh, okay,
and the
100K.
Same one you're
50K
doing.
and the 30K.
Okay.
I think
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
3 people doing like the 30K, or 1 or 2 people doing the 30K, 1 person doing the 50K, and I think there is somebody doing the 100K.
Wait, is it 100 kilometers?
Yeah.
So the relay.
I really need to learn more about this
Yeah,
event.
so there's all of the above. Okay, there's like a 15K, a 30K, a 50K, a 100K, and a 100 miler.
Okay.
Okay, and then the relays are for the 100K and the 100 miler.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're doing the 100 miler.
You're doing the
Oh.
100 mile relay.
You're doing the
Yes.
100-mile.
So you're gonna run
Yes.
20 miles each.
Well, no, so the way they have the course set up
Yeah.
is all of our guys have to run 3 laps
Right.
except for one. One person will
Gotta
run
run
4
four,
laps,
right.
right? And so, like,
So
obviously,
you know,
I'm one of the 3
6.2
laps.
times 3 is almost 20 miles, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, hey, I thought we clarified I'm not good at math. Can we just,
All right,
like...
just want to make sure you do that. All right. Okay.
So yes, and luckily, like they were kind enough to put me at not the heat of the day.
Okay.
Are you
so
the night guy?
I probably am the night guy.
you
We
okay?
have it pretty divided up, but like I'm like the 5th wave, right, or the
Yeah.
5th.
The fifth
Fifth
guy.
person up.
Yeah.
So you'll be definitely doing a little night running.
Oh, for sure. And I don't like.
Everybody's gonna have to do some. night
Yeah,
running.
I've done like
'Cause 100
America's
miles.
Toughest, and
Okay,
so
so you-
I'm
yeah,
used to
that's right.
night.
Yeah. I mean, even if they were like super duper fast, I mean, they wouldn't be done with the 100K, right? Which isn't even which is like what 62 miles.
62, yeah,
they wouldn't be
something
done
like
with that
that.
till like 9 or 10 o'clock.
Oh, I'm really
Yeah.
excited about this
Yeah.
event. I know a lot. So
It's
like
gonna be a
we're
blast.
taking a bunch of people. You're gonna be out there. I actually found out that 2 of my members from Row House, they're doing it for the very first time, and
Yeah.
they're super nervous.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's
They're like,
awesome.
we don't know anybody out there. We literally know nothing about what we signed up for. I was like,
Yeah.
don't worry.
Do you
I
know
got
how to
you.
run?
I was like,
yeah,
they are
just show
runners,
up.
but they've
Yeah.
never done this event.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
It's
So-
gonna be a blast.
So I mean, it's a cool event. I mean, it is hot and there
So
is
hot.
a lot of sand, quite a bit
It's
of
a
sand.
long day.
So depending on how wet or dry it's been.
Yeah.
Right? So.
You know what? Hyperwear, if you're listening, like Hyperwear has those new cooling vests. I was like, man, I should have reached out to them to see if like they would have like sponsored a few of those cooling vests. That
Yeah.
would have been
That would have been a good
legit.
idea. Yeah. So I mean, we're gonna bring the ice bath, and you know,
Ooh.
somebody's bringing their camper, so we'll have like a whole area. We have actually an actual like
Yeah.
We're bringing like a party.
yeah,
We're
it's gonna
bringing,
be a
like,
party.
setup.
So you're more
When
than
are-
welcome
when
to
are
come
y'all
join
setting
us.
up?
I think it's 13. When or
Yeah,
where?
like when?
We're gonna show up the day of, right? So we'll probably
Okay.
get there around like 10 o'clock or so, 11.
Okay.
right? And then
I'm gonna hit y'all up, make sure we come set up because
Yeah,
I mean
come
you're
hang out with
talking about
us.
like ice bath and all that, man. I might
Yeah.
defect.
I'm
You
thinking of
know,
I'm thinking of bringing a kid.
well, last year, so I went
Yes.
out. So I always, so this is what, the third year or the fourth year we've done it? Third year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why, but I like going first and last. I like to be the
You
first
do.
man on and the
You like
last
to be the
man
last
off.
one to bring it
right?
in.
Yeah.
And so last year I went out and Tommy and I, our team had 2 teams last year.
Right.
So I tried to like put the teams together where like people kind of paced each other a little bit
Yep.
to kind of help. And so Tommy and I went out, man, and we went out hot. I mean, like really, really fast, like way too fast for that heat.
Yep.
And we went the wrong way twice.
Jeez.
So instead of 6 miles, we ended up running like 7.5. And when I got back, man, I was toasted. Like
Yep.
I was like,
He
I'm sure my
basically had his head in the ice bucket.
yeah, I was just constantly.
I believe it.
It took me the rest of the day to recover from
I
that.
bet.
Like
Yeah.
I was so like heat exhaustion, like drained. They had like these little Powerade snow cones.
Yep.
I was downing those things like I just kept
Trying to cool that
just
internal temperature.
Well, trying to get sugar back in my body as well, right? Trying to like get some carbs in me and stuff. Because I was like, if I had gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then gone number 6, I wouldn't have been able to make that lap.
So
No.
what we're saying
No.
is if you're doing the event, do not underestimate how hot it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
And,
it's gonna be-
Slow
bring
yourself
all the
down.
water, slow it down.
Yeah,
Bring
I
all
didn't
the
have enough. I
ice.
didn't take enough water that first lap either. I got to
Yeah.
I think so. They usually have 2 water stations, one at mile 2 and then one around 3.5 or 4. And I had taken my water and I was out
Yeah.
like early on, and I was like,
Yeah, me
God,
too.
please, where's the water station?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was
Only
just
like 2 or 3, I think.
There's
two.
two, just two, yeah. So
Yeah.
there's one like at the little cross place, and
Yeah.
then there's one like
Like at the
like
top of that
halfway
hill.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my understanding is the course is the same as last time,
Oh, I
except
thought they changed
reversed.
it.
backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but if you've seen that Super Mario level on Super Mario 3, like where the sun's trying to kill you,
Yeah.
like that's totally what it's going to be like.
It is.
It's going to be 107. I'm calling it
You're
right
gonna
now.
be,
It's going to be
like,
107, not a cloud in the sky.
So this past weekend we went and ran it.
Stop
A group
it.
of us went and
I'm
ran
just telling you.
the course,
it.
right? So we went both directions, right? Just
Uh-huh.
'cause I didn't know because if they were going to change it a little bit, so I was like, you know what? Maybe they're just going to go reverse, right?
Yeah.
So the first time we did it the front way. The second time we went reverse. So the first time it was not bad because we started at like 7 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
so it was 90% shaded. And then the front part of that lap, there's like hardly any sand. So it wasn't a bad run at
Doable.
all. It was very doable. Then we got to the back half where there was like there's like about almost a mile of just straight sand.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? It's about 3/4 of a mile. I measured it. And then the sun was coming up high enough that
Ooh.
there was no shade, right?
Ooh.
So we finished the lap. We all refilled our water bottles. We went out again and we went backwards. No shade.
Yeah.
0 shade. Now this is only about 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So the race starts at 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or I mean noon. I'm sorry. It starts at noon.
It starts
High
at
noon.
noon.
So that means 0 shade for the entire run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Why'd
the
y'all
first
sign up
mile
for
of it
this?
is going to be about
You signed up for it
sand.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
you're in
why?
my you're on, you're
do
on my
hard
team.
things, man. Do
Yeah,
hard
you
things.
can't let him
Yeah.
down, man. You're on the A team.
You're on my team, bro. Anything
I'm
anything
suddenly
more
feeling
than
real good
sub
about not
45
being on that
minutes
team.
was going to get you kicked off the team.
And you're just gonna replace him. suddenly?
Yeah, I will replace you in a heartbeat. Don't think I won't. If you show up at 46:03,
He's like, not with Neil.
if you
Sub
cross that finish line at
45?
46:03 or 45:59,
Telling you, they've got like
Anything-
seriously some of the
Wow.
fastest people on
Anything
their team.
above
It's gonna
that?
be nuts.
I'm putting
James
Danny
is
in your
looking.
spot, bro.
James is looking to
But-
annihilate the Texas A&M track team.
That's not going to happen.
But y'all are doing the 100K.
We're just doing the
100K.
100K. Yeah, yeah.
Sweet.
So it's just 62.
not in our,
So if you want
not
to
in our
jump ship,
con-
if you
we're-
want
I
to
was
jump
worried
ship,
myself.
No,
we
I'll
got
stick
a
with the
team
100. I
for
don't want to
you.
go into that one.
So we're doing
No.
2 laps only. We're only doing 2 laps each.
Yeah, we only do 2 each.
Yeah, but the competition, man.
He's saying you scare him.
I'm just being
Yeah.
I'm just being stupid. I'm probably going to go there
We're
and jog
all
it.
gonna suffer.
It's gonna be a blast, though.
I'm going to
looking
come in
forward
about
to
an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm like, where's James? Where's James? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
it. Ah,
It's a fun event, though. It's cool.
It's a really fun event.
It is.
I mean, it's a suffer fest, but once you like get back in, everyone's like having fun, they're laughing, they're hanging out, and then like the people running in, like when you come into like
cheering
the
people
little
on and-
You should
commune
rent like
area.
Yeah.
an RV or something.
I think
gonna
this
have one
year.
there.
I've never
Oh,
done it before, so I
awesome.
don't know this for a fact. But I think in the past they haven't allowed the teams to run in together on the last lap. But I think they are doing that this year. Like they're allowing the team to
Like,
run
run
in
you
on
in?
to run you in on the last lap, like
Well,
all the
that's
way
kinda
in.
cool. So we can run you in.
That's what I heard. Please don't quote me on that,
Yeah.
but I've heard that
I
they're
mean,
going
we
to allow
kind of
that.
Well,
had
I'm
like 1 or
quoting
2 people ran you in technically.
Yeah, and you can
last
have
year.
pacers,
Yeah,
right?
you
so
can have a
you can
pacer.
actually sign up to be a
We had
pacer for
some
Oh,
free.
that's cool.
And so, like, you go out there on your lap, you can have somebody run with you.
We
That's
had
cool.
paces. I remember we had one of our friends from the Champions Run Association pace with us, and she was not a good pacer.
She was not.
No.
She just turned it into a race for herself.
She like took
She
off,
took off and left
me,
people.
And then she'd wait for me on the top of a hill, and I was like, "All right, I'm fine."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, Chrissy, you need to learn how to pace. You know what a pacer is. So.
It was
All right, man. Well, that was good times.
good.
Good times. Rocky, Do you have a?
Oh yeah, it's
you have
Rocky's moment.
a ramble for us today?
I always have a ramble for you guys.
You always say that, and then
No, I do. This one I wrote.
Always-
Remember, he's like
I
preparing
wrote
them in
this
advance
one
now.
out.
He typed it out.
Last week. This
oh,
one
okay.
was ready to
Let's-
go.
oh, okay.
so I
Hold on,
haven't-
hold on. Get on the edge of my
Yeah.
seat. Get on the edge of my seat. I'm ready.
I haven't checked it in a week, so excuse me if I mess up.
I'm excited. You see my excitement?
I do. How to Change Your Mind to Change Your Life
Change it.
by Rocky G.
G.
I'm kidding. All right, no, how to change your mind and how to change your life. It starts with something that is simple that we make so hard
Why do you keep wiping your mouth?
because I'm nervous. It starts with something that is simple that we make so hard. Think about that. It takes control of our mind. Our thoughts are so powerful, what we think we will become. Am I right, James?
Word.
Where you are at right now in your life, good or bad, guess what? It's your own dang fault. You're an adult. Hopefully, if you're listening, you're an adult.
We like kids too.
Mhm.
It's kid friendly.
You can't blame nobody for where you are. You're grown.
It's your fault.
We frame our thoughts, so now it's time to change it. So what we got to do? We got to break this frame and make a new and bigger one. How many people say, I just want to lose weight, or I just want to run to eat whatever I want? I'm keeping it fitness because it's a fitness podcast.
So many.
Is this really all you think you're capable of?
Nope.
This applies to all areas of life, of course. When you make the frame bigger, your thoughts become bigger. Then your goals become bigger. You start imagining things you once thought you weren't capable of. Then you start actually doing things and become someone you don't even recognize. It will change your life. Dang. But don't keep dwelling on your past
Oh.
or what could have been. When I look back on some of my thoughts and my biggest fears and what could have been, I realized none of those actually happened. So I'm not gonna. Well, my biggest fear right now is passing out in that race. Hopefully that didn't happen.
It won't happen.
It's so easy to let our mind catch a train to the thoughts of what could have been. But it's time to buy a ticket to what will be. The only thing holding you back from your best self is yourself.
Preach.
Bruh.
Dude, I
that
feel
good?
like these
That's it?
started off as rambles, like they're random thoughts, and now they've become like the valedictorian speech.
Let's calm down. I mean,
Right.
it's like
Community college.
Community college.
that was nice. Good
Y'all
job.
didn't even guess that.
was good.
Oh.
Hey. I heard valedictorian. I just took that.
So here's what happens when he rambles. It's a thing of beauty because there's no thought process. It just goes to whatever. That was a thought out,
That was
well written
Very well written.
Yeah.
thought process.
But
I
it
don't
was,
even want to follow that.
but it was a ramble. It started off as a ramble. I was at my house chilling,
that was
hanging
a
out.
novel.
I wouldn't
It was-
consider that a ramble.
that was
I
a
would consider that
novel.
I mean that's like a
That's like the
that's
ending
like
chapter
a preface
of
to a
sparse
book.
novel.
That's what that. Yeah, it's like you're like letting people know what they're getting in the next 25 chapters.
Oh yeah, bro. If you like had somebody film you screaming that while running, like you're the next Goggins, I think.
There you
Oh,
go.
snap.
There you go.
Something
Yeah,
like that.
they got the
You
delivery.
gotta drop in some like.
Yeah.
F-bombs.
So you either got
Yeah.
to make it
You gotta
like
make it a little more intimidating.
ramble delivery, or you got to get like a little more like
Serious?
intensive. You were trying to like you kept wiping like you were LL Cool.
Well, I
J.
haven't read
You're
this.
like you're trying to be cool with
No,
it.
Like you
last
thought
week
you were
I
gonna
was
start doing
prepped.
this.
Last
Yeah.
week I had this thing memorized. I was ready to go.
But oh,
You got
I
nervous?
forgot. No, you weren't here. We didn't record last week.
Oh, y'all didn't. That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was ready to go.
He was.
I'm sorry.
He was. And then I made him do a video instead.
Which I'm sure he loved.
Yeah, but the sound wasn't
Yeah.
great, so we have to redo it.
Rocky, I love that, man. That
I
was
appreciate
awesome.
that.
Rocky pulls them out sometimes.
good.
Here it
Yeah, I
is.
already got the next two ready to
Now
go,
here's
too.
the great
Wow.
thing that I'm gonna love. What about you, Lauren? You have an LOL moment for us? You gonna follow that up?
I am actually.
Oh.
I am.
Oh.
I have a story
Oh, hey, let me get on the edge of my seat.
on the edge of your
I'm gonna
seat.
get on the
I'm
like, one cheek
so-
this.
One cheek.
I feel like it's been feeling like a rough week. Like I feel like this whole month of July has flown by. I don't know what happened.
It's August.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. July went so quick, and now
okay.
we're in
But
August.
you said this month of July,
Sorry,
like we were still
I
in
forgot
it.
we're technically
That
still
was
in-
like
we're
yeah.
now technically in August.
Technically is not. We are in August. It's not. We're technically in.
Technically. So we're in August. July flew by. I feel like I'm like trying to catch up on life. And I felt bad because I had to call y'all last week and it's like, hey, I'm just not gonna be able to do the podcast, do without me. I had major FOMO. I was angry because I didn't think I was going to be in the podcast. Like, they're gonna like have fun without me, and people are gonna want to kick me out because they're gonna realize it's more fun without Lauren. I got very self-conscious. I was angry because I had to go deal with a problem and the bees. My dad.
You really thought all that?
I really did.
Okay.
That's what my brain does. My dad, love him, love you. He did something he wasn't supposed to do, and he broke rules, and he knocked over 2 of my beehives and literally busted them full open. So I had to drop my whole work day and go take care. And you know what bees do? You know how bees act when you bust open their homes? They ain't happy.
I'm sure they're not.
They're very stingy.
Yeah.
Shout out Macaulay Culkin.
Oh my gosh, no.
That's what happens.
No,
You mess with
No,
the home.
that's sad.
Good stuff. Some
So-
people may get the reference.
Yeah, if you didn't get that reference, go back and educate yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I had to deal with that literally all day. It was exhausting. And
So what did I tell you last week? When you were, what did I tell you?
Let's not record
Why?
because Lauren's gonna have FOMO.
Yep.
so much
And she's gonna be all
FOMO.
upset. And she's
Aw.
gonna think that we don't care about her.
So much FOMO.
See? And we're not gonna, even if people enjoy it more, we're not gonna not have you on the show. I mean, it is.
That would be degrading though. Like,
Yeah.
hey, Lauren was on that show, and our listenership like tripled.
Yeah,
Like, what
it's
just
so
happened?
good.
That'd
So
be
good.
horrible.
Yeah, I highly doubt that. I mean, remember, we need you if for anything for diversity.
I'm the adversity checkbox.
Not
heard that.
adversity.
I'm sorry, I mean the
For
diversity.
adversity checkbox.
Diversity checkbox.
She makes this so
Diversity.
hard.
Every now and
I
then,
am also
adversity.
the adversity.
Yeah,
to
she
love
does
James.
I
add
love
that.
it.
I'm the adversity for James, but I'm the diversity in the group.
I love
so
that.
we-
I like to do what I can, but
So
yes.
I mean, here's the deal. I started the YouTube channel back, a few years ago, and it was mainly to, kind of spread the word about BC, kind of give some information for people. And the number one reason why I started the YouTube channel was because I wanted to get free shoes. That's all I really. That was my whole
Who
goal.
doesn't? Yeah.
It's still my number
because
one
they're
goal.
so expensive.
I want people to send me free running shoes. And if you will do that, I promise you, you will get the best reviews you've ever had. They'll be entertaining. They'll be informational. I will wear the crud out of those shoes. I
You'll get
promise you.
mentioned on the podcast,
You know what I'm
much
saying?
like our
Shoes are expensive, and brothers need help, right? So that was the reason why I started it, and it was just me by myself. So that's why I called it Running with James, right? So when we started the podcast, I was like, I'm going to start a podcast, and I was like, well, I don't want to do a podcast by myself and just talk
Right.
for 30 minutes or an hour. So I was like, well, I'll have some people that I enjoy spending time with. So we'll bring Rocky and Lauren on, right? So it's not fair that it's called Running with James, because it's really not running just with
But
James.
we run with you.
Right?
So
Because
we-
they run with me. So they're a part of. So even though it's called Running with James, it's more of an idea more
We run with
than
James.
it's my show. It's our show.
I get it. That's
right?
awesome, man.
So it's not really, but I will fire you if you keep pissing me off.
I was going to say, he's like, I brought y'all on so y'all can mix it up, but also y'all have been the best and worst decision I've made.
I've never said
Yes.
that. I've never said that. So
That's awesome, man.
So thanks for coming on, Neil.
Bro, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
This is
man.
a blast.
Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. We're glad you came, man. We're excited for the event. We're glad you're going to be
Super
here.
excited.
Absolutely.
with
August
us.
19th,
August
BC
19th,
Fitness.
BC
It's
Fit.
free.
Yep.
Get your friends.
You can go to mybcfit.com to sign up. You can also download our app, the BC Fitness app. You can sign up there.
Find us on
And
the
you can
socials.
find us on the social
All
media.
those things will be there.
At Running with James. You can also go on at mybcfit. It'll be there as well. You can get the link. So if you can't sign up for this thing, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
If you're thinking of doing a HYROX event, but you are just really sitting on the fence, this is an event you sign up for. This is going to get your toes wet, give you an idea of what's going on. It's going to help you meet a bunch of people who've already done the event, and we will all collectively convince you.
That's
that you
right.
need
It's
to
a
do the
High
event.
Rock Zero Sugar.
What?
It's like a diet drink of High Rocks.
I know what you're trying to do.
Okay.
It didn't land. It didn't land. If people
Reach.
say what after you say it, it's a good try, though.
I tried.
It's a good try. Now you're back to rambling. Now that's the
what we
Rocky we
expect
know.
from a
That's what we
ramble.
expect, right? So
That's what we expect from the
So,
ramble.
well, thanks again, man, for coming on. Guys, remember,
Absolutely.
if you haven't done so, you can check out us on YouTube, shoe reviews, running tips. We got a video dropping about Rocky, actually, and his running form. So if you want to see
Wow.
Rocky's beautiful running form and what it takes to improve your running form, check that video out. Obviously, if you haven't subscribe, like, share, do all that great stuff. And then rate us on the podcast. Put those 5 stars. Ching, 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 ching.
Oh,
Oh,
for
Neil,
sure.
where can they find you at?
Oh, yeah. So you
Yeah.
can find me on Instagram at NeilK_OCR. Also on TikTok at the same handle. And then on YouTube. YouTube does handles now. So at NeilK_OCR. Or I'm sure we'll probably drop some links in the show notes,
Yep.
description on YouTube.
sure. Find 'em in
And then
the
check
show
out my website. I drop some blogs every once in a while, just whether it's, mentality in the OCR game or the hybrid fitness game, tips, difference between HYROX, PFTs, and things like that. www.neilkrebs, NeilKrebs.info.
Yep.
we go.
So on the video, we'll definitely put those links down below, and on the podcast, we'll do that as well. So, guys, we appreciate you coming in. So before we go, though, okay, because I mean, you guys, I'm not appreciated in my time. I really am not. I feel like one day, like, I won't be here anymore, and like y'all are gonna be just like, oh, we miss James. James
We're
was
just
so
gonna have a
awesome.
big picture of you
He
up
was so
there.
wonderful. Oh my God, he was so amazing.
We'll get an AI persona made of him.
There we go.
Yeah.
By that time, maybe, yeah. So it'll be a robot, and you just put my face on it. But Neil, I thought he was gonna cry earlier when I gave you your hat, and then I gave you some protein because he's like, oh, I got left out. So, but I don't ever leave
I
anybody.
told you I was cool with being on the show, but
I never leave anybody
knew
out,
you were
man.
gonna
So
leave
I got
Oh,
your shirt. So
look
we
at
always sign the show
that.
off, right, with a little saying that we call
The change
your mind,
You
you
change
change
your
your life,
life.
right? So you're always at these events we go to. I told you the last
Yes.
time that you're a semi-adopted, semi-family
you're
member.
honorary BC.
So now it's official now, bro.
bro,
so,
you legit gonna make me cry now.
Yeah,
Man,
so-
I appreciate y'all so much.
Yeah, you're a good man, dude. I
Awesome.
appreciate what you do for the community and how you grow in the sport, but then also how you're helping people feel like excited
Thanks,
about
man.
it, dude. So
Appreciate that.
So appreciate
Rising
you.
tides, brother. Rising tides.
there it is. All right, guys, we love you. Thanks for coming on.
Change your mind.
You change your life.
Peace.
Bye.
I'm gonna need the shirt back though.
Nope. I'll fight you for it.